What's good? I'm back again with another reaction. This video, you know what I'm saying? Lil Zay Osama sentenced to only 14 months in prison after leaving a Glock switch. Inside his Uber, bro. How are you that sloppy that you're gonna be leaving some that you know is a minimum 10 years inside of a public vehicle that you know is connected to public service? I mean, not public service, but you know what I'm saying? It's a service that they provide. Uber, basically, bro. Taxi. Why are you leaving ish in the taxi? Don't leave illegal stuff in the taxi because that's how you get caught. You know what I'm saying? Your name's on the thing. Let's get into this video. Get your ready. Watch to the end. Like, comment, and subscribe. You know what I'm saying? Mess with your boy. We almost there. We are on our way to 2,000, bro. 2,000 subs. Appreciate every single one of y'all. We almost halfway there. All right. Let's get into this video. Let's check it out. You know what I'm saying?
Man, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of EOS. It's 1090 Jake, man. I'm rocking with y'all. Y'all rocking with me. And for this video, y'all see.
Hey, should I wear my hat like 1090 Jake, bro, to the side? Oh, man, switch it up a bit.
The title. Let's get right into it.
We don't play with no regular nigga. On my butter. We do.
Don't play my slime. On folks great, it will guess like that. Switchy. No talking. No cap. No talking.
Switch game.
3 switches right here.
And I put the bitches
That's just enough right there. That's enough. 1, 2, 3. That's enough.
The Glock switch has become a staple in hip-hop, turning handguns into fully automatic hole punches. But a lot of misconceptions surround the switch, and in this video we'll be fully breaking it down. On November 7th, Chicago rapper Lil Zay Osama stood in front of a federal judge in Brooklyn, New York. It was sentencing day, and Zay had pled guilty back in May to 1 count of possession of a machine gun. On September 29th, 2022, an Uber driver picked up Zay and several associates from a hotel in Manhattan. The driver would notice Zay was holding a firearm during the ride. Dropping them off at a recording studio in Queens, the driver saw they left the gun in the vehicle, so the driver called the police. NYPD would locate the .40 caliber.
Bro, don't tell me this. They're using these little mini vehicles out there in NYPD, bro. You ain't catching no one in a high-speed chasing one of these. Bro, a bike could go faster than this. Why? This is where all your guys' funds is going to. This is why it's so expensive in New York for a BS like this, bro. They're buying little ass cars, bro, that they don't even need a dude in that's probably 6 foot tall, barely even fits in there, like a clown ass car, bro. They need to take all the money where they bought these little shoes, you know what I'm saying? These little freaking, they look like a J that, they look like a Jordan, bro, that a little baby would wear, you know what I'm saying? But just scaled up to like 20 times big. They need to return all those, get that money back, and invest it in y'all in New York. You know what I'm saying? You guys need it, bro. It's so expensive out there.
Glock 22 with a switch, loaded with 1 round in the chamber and 9 more in the mag. When asked,
why are you gonna have a switch with only 10 rounds, bro? What?
The driver would identify Lil Zay Osama as the one who possessed it. This statement alone was enough to build a Fed case.
What's happening?
Put your hands behind your back.
What happened? We're gonna short it all up. We're gonna short it all up. What is going on? We're gonna short it all up. I'm the manager. I'm just he's being detained right now. So back up. I'm just.
You get my phone though?
Yeah, you got anything on you?
I'm on live, sir.
U.S. attorneys would submit a letter requesting to keep Zay in federal custody, labeling him a danger to society, and even quoting some of his lyrics, one of which stated, "Just got a brand new Glock with a 50 and a switch." The then 25-year-old had already been convicted of criminal trespassing, reckless conduct, 3 counts of robbery, aggravated battery, and aggravated discharge of a firearm. Zay would be held in custody and only released after paying a $350,000 bond. In January of 2024, he officially be indicted on 1 count of possession of a machine gun and 1 count of possession of an unregistered firearm. Everyone expected this to be the rapper's demise. Fast forward to November 7th, Zay, having pled guilty to the machine gun and getting the 2nd charge dropped, was only sentenced to 14 months in federal prison, followed by 1 year of supervised release. Only having to serve 85% of his sentence, Zay will be home in less than a year. Immediately, he'd be accused online of snitching, solely because of the fact that he didn't get a decade or more in prison. So how did he get such a sweet deal? First off, 90% of people don't know what the fuck they're talking about. A switch without a gun is still considered a machine gun.
I think that's true, but correct me if I'm wrong. I think the federal government versus the ATF attachments are not considered the weapon itself because it doesn't eject a projectile. You know what I'm saying? Y'all had to check the camera. It's just like when you have a silencer for when you got the barrel, you know, a silencer, bro, you know what I'm saying? So it could be, no one could hear anything. When you got one of those, it's the same thing. There's a whole case going on where they're trying to make that like a firearm as well, but it's an attachment. So they kind of like contradicted themselves by saying it is, but it isn't. So it was the whole thing. The fuck? So it was the whole thing basically, and yeah, so I don't know. That might not be considered, you know what I'm saying, federally, but we'll see.
Switch and a gun is clearly a machine gun, and a machine gun under federal law is punishable by up to 10 years in federal prison.
It says up to,
meaning you can get
minimum.
anywhere from supervised release, aka probation, to the max 10 years, depending on a few different factors. But as soon as the internet hears 10, they assume you'll just get 10 years for a switch. During Zay's plea deal, the courts calculated his offense level as 15 and criminal history as 2. The guideline range for this level scored out to 21 to 27 months in prison, or just over 2 years. Zay's lawyer would counter with a 7-month prison sentence.
That's his lawyer, bro? What? Where do all these badass lawyers be at, bro?
Highlighting how Zay's felony convictions came from when he was a juvenile at just 15 and 16 years old. As an adult, he'd only been convicted of 2 misdemeanors. His lawyer would speak on his Chicago upbringing and how at only 14, Zay was shot in the chest. His lawyer would also cite multiple cases in which defendants were sentenced to less than the guidelines. Taking it a step further, his lawyer would point out the unlivable conditions Zay had to endure while inside of MDC Brooklyn as rats and roaches flooded the facility. Inmates would suffer indefinite lockdowns, imposing solitary confinement-like conditions, furthering mental health issues, and leading to multiple inmates being killed. Zay's lawyer, Don Florio, was lawyering her ass off. Zay was in New York to perform at Rolling Loud. He was on his way to an interview when a firearm was left behind, and that firearm wasn't linked to any previous crimes. Zay's lawyer would again take it a step even further, pointing out rappers are often targeted for their wealth, and just 17 days before Zay was arrested, rapper PNB Rock was shot and killed during a robbery for his jewelry.
Rest in peace. For those, check my previous video that I uploaded yesterday or 2 days ago. Is some footage. I'm actually going to be reacting to the full. They actually released the full footage of like when he got smoked, the police cam, the body. I'm going to be reacting to all that, bro. So just keep an eye out. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, RP and B Rock, man, my condolences to the family. Obviously, always Philadelphia legend. You know what I'm saying? Always got to show and pay respects. Let's get back into the video.
The lawyer would top it all off with the statistical fact that according to the Sentencing Commission, between 2015 and 2023, there were 49 individuals in the Eastern District of New York sentenced for firearm-related offenses, with the median sentence being only 19 months. Zay had already served 8 months total fighting this case, and another 4 months from a state case, meaning he's already been incarcerated for 12 months. Now, the U.S. attorney would argue back, highlighting Zay's DNA was found on the weapon, and request he be sentenced to 27 months in federal prison. They'd also try to assassinate his character, speaking on Zay's 2023 arrest following a high-speed chase in Illinois, where police found a Glock 29 with a laser extended magazine and a switch, and a Glock 19 with a 50-round drum and deface serial number. At the time, Zay was wearing a $90,000 necklace that was allegedly, according to the U.S. attorney, stolen during an armed robbery in New York. At no time was cooperation ever brought up in this case. At no time did Zay ever point the finger arguing the weapon belonged to anyone else, and at no time did his lawyer or the U.S. attorney highlight a 5K1 or any other factors that would have reduced his sentencing by cooperating. In the end, Zay would receive 14 months in prison, 1 year of supervised release, and a recommendation that he be housed in FCI Thompson, closer to his family in Chicago. With the internet claiming Zay must have ratted, he'd take to his Instagram story addressing the rumors saying, "Stop believing everything you hear or see on the internet. You really think you can get 30 years for a switch? Hell no. I don't care what state you in."
I ain't gonna lie, I remember seeing this post too, not that long ago.
Facts. But switches is dangerous and carry 3 or 4 years, maybe less, depending on your background. But they becoming a problem in a lot of cities, so it might be worse for you. Different strokes for different folks. I caught a blessing. Don't look at my situation and think you need a switch, cause it can end bad for you. Stop playing with snitching for real. Have 1090 Jake look up my switch case. Now, not only did Zay get a sweet deal, but he's also signed to Warner Records, could afford a $350,000 bond, and a New York top lawyer. So to sum it all up, if you ain't rich, don't tote a switch. Nah, I'm just playing. To sum it all up.
That's true though, you know what I'm saying?
Because of his weak criminal history, right? Because they're not using anything that he hasn't been convicted for. He might have open cases, cool, but whatever. Adult convictions, misdemeanors. Juvenile shit, felonies. But it's been a long time and they're trying to portray it that he's changed his life and become an artist and got a record deal and he's obviously worth a lot of fucking money. And then the guideline range that the lawyer was able to highlight to the judge shows, look, 49 people got off at around 19 months. What can we do for my client? This is clearly a case of money talks, bullshit walks. If you walk into a courtroom federal estate without a fucking lawyer, you're fucked. If you walk in there with a top lawyer, a celebrity lawyer, a highly six-figure paid lawyer, you're gonna get an entirely different type of fucking deal. And a lot of y'all are
I'd say a 7-figure, you know what I'm saying? Because if you get someone rich off like that, bro, they best believe they gonna get a bag. And if you're a good lawyer and you do that multiple times, it could be running up some M's, you know what I'm saying? That's a real bag.
getting. Machine guns and silencers are classed in the same way, right? Pretty
Remember what I was talking about earlier, bro?
sure it's the same punishment for a silencer as it is for a machine gun.
But it's an attachment.
Y'all
It's
remember
not a
T.I. got
weapon.
caught with all that crazy shit. He didn't get a whole lot of time.
That's what I'm
Everyone
saying.
assumed he snitched, and the commercial on TV about tips didn't help. But in reality, nobody ever got paperwork that showed he snitched. And there's nothing saying Zay snitched, aside from the fucking people on the internet. And it's like I personally told him, you can't beat the internet. But stay away from switches and guns that ain't yours. Hire security. PNB Rock, rest in peace. He died with a gun on him, tucked in his waistband. They just came out with the body cam footage. He died with a gun.
Telling you about that.
Didn't even get a chance to pull it out.
Exactly.
And it was over with.
And just like I highlighted in the last video of PNB Rock, if you could have the best weapon artillery, you could have a button that can end the world. If someone gets to drop on you and pulls the trigger before you even have a chance to react or do anything, that's useless. That's useless if you can't really get to it. Just like PNB Rock's burner that, you know what I'm saying, out on the waistband, which unfortunately that's how it happened. But they're saying they highlighted that to look like a robbery, but really they set him up. It was one of the cooks, one of the employees, delayed his food like 40 minutes. It's a whole crazy ordeal. Go check out my video. But with that, squad, we'll go ahead and end it. Let me know if y'all made it to the end. You know what I'm saying? Comment alive. Or better yet, comment V or 5. Comment 5, you know what I'm saying? Appreciate y'all for messing with me and watching to the end, squad. You know, hey. Appreciate y'all. We'll go ahead and catch you on the next one. We out.